Hi, so I thought I would try and film a tips video today on how to incorporate a little bit of colour into a capsule wardrobe. Just because I've seen a lot of capsule wardrobe videos, but so many of them are really focused on sort of more monochrome, neutral colours, which is great if you love that, and I do enjoy neutral colours, particularly white and sort of the lighter side of things. But when it comes to the summery months and weather warms up a little bit, I really enjoy wearing some brighter colours, as you may be able to tell from my very bright dress here. And there weren't a whole lot of videos or blogs that I've seen anyway, that really go into a few of the tips and tricks on how to make it work when you do have a bit more colour, a few more patterns, all that kind of thing. Keeping in mind that these are just my tips. They may not work for everyone, but hopefully you can take what you want from it and they can be a little bit helpful for you. Before I start, I just wanted to say thank you so much to the people who have subscribed. I think I'm on like 99 subscribers now, which I know for most people is probably nothing, but for me, I didn't even know if anyone would want to watch these videos, so it's kind of nice to know that a few people liked it enough to click that button. So yeah, thank you. Some of these tips are a few just general tips, but most of them are going to be more directed towards incorporating colour, that kind of thing. If you are just starting out with capsule wardrobes, I'll link a few blog posts or videos that really go into just the basics of it. Number one, and again this is more of a general tip, but start with what you have. You don't want to go out and buy a bunch of things or a bunch of new clothes. I think it's really important to use what you have first, because as you actually start living with a smaller wardrobe, you kind of realise what does and doesn't work for you. And if you go out and get all new things straight away, firstly it sort of defeats the purpose. You know, you're just buying a whole bunch of new things and cluttering up your wardrobe even more. But then you don't always know what you really need or what you really like. I think a lot of the time when we go shopping, we sort of shop for this sort of fantasy life. Like for me, I love looking at really high heels and looking, going, oh, they look amazing. But in reality, I never wear heels. That kind of thing. Once you've gotten started and worked with a capsule wardrobe for a little while, you sort of do realise you sort of notice your actual style, what you really like. That's when you sort of look at your wardrobe, go, where are the holes, what do I really need? And it makes it so much easier to actually go out and look specifically for those things. Number two is to choose a colour palette. Because a capsule wardrobe is made up of a more limited collection of items, you do want to make sure that, for the most part at least, they all sort of can mix and match and go together so that they're more versatile. Otherwise you can be a little bit limited in the outfits that you can create. I find, for me, the best way to do this was to just have a look at my wardrobe and pick out all the pieces that I felt the best in, that I loved the most, and they're probably already ones that you do wear a lot. And from there you'll probably start to notice sort of a bit of a theme happening about what colours you gravitate towards. For me, I sort of did already know this. I love wearing pink and white, so those are two of my main colours that are in my wardrobe. And then I also wear a lot of navy, so I've got like a navy cardigan and just a bunch of other navy things, and those three sort of all go together pretty well. And those are kind of like the main colours that my wardrobe is kind of based around. Obviously it doesn't mean that you need to wear just these colours, but you sort of use those main colours, 3 or 4 or however it may be for you, however many it may be for you, as a starting point, and then try and work everything else sort of around those. Number 3, try to keep the colourful or pattern pieces to your dresses or tops, and then keep your bottoms more neutral. Obviously if you prefer it the other way around, like wearing crazy pants or like beautiful coloured skirts, flip it around, no worries, but this is what worked in my wardrobe. Particularly because I love wearing beautiful summery pattern bright dresses, and when it comes to dresses, they are basically the easiest way to incorporate the colour and pattern into your wardrobe. because obviously you don't need to worry about finding something to pair it with, it's just a whole outfit in itself. And I know some people probably find that dresses are a bit restrictive because it's just the one outfit, and you know, people might think, oh, you can only wear it one way, but I actually find them really versatile because you can just change the whole look by sort of pairing it with the dress with a different pair of shoes, whether it be just like summery sandals and then switching them out for heels, and it becomes a more dressy option, throwing on a cardigan, adding a belt, that kind of thing. And dresses, that's why I've been actually able to incorporate so much colour and pattern into my wardrobe and for it to work, because you just don't have to worry about the dress clashing with anything. Also, when it comes to dresses, it means that you can be a bit more flexible with your colour palette because you're only wearing the dress by itself. If the pattern of the dress or the colour isn't quite within your sort of palette, it's not that big a deal, because you know, you're not limited. You can only wear it with this one top, you can only wear it with this, you know, one pair of pants or whatever it may be. And so then I also tend to keep my shorts and pants, I don't really wear skirts very often, on the more neutral side, because it means that then you can pair any of your bright tops with any of the bottoms, and it just makes it a lot more versatile. So number four, include neutral pieces to tie everything together. So this is obviously a pretty obvious one. Even if you absolutely love colour and pattern, you always need just a little bit of the neutrals just to tone things down a little bit and just make everything work. Obviously, if it's just everything's colourful, it's just going to be a bit of a bright rainbow mess and it's not going to be as versatile as if, you know, you do have those neutral basics in the mix. I generally have like the basic things like simple tops, cardigans, trousers, and those ones obviously pair with the interesting ones, the interesting pieces, and then makes it much easier to mix and match. Sorry, I am reading from my little notes here. But yeah, for my summer capsule, two of the main colours, they're also sort of technically what I would call neutrals. So my main colours I was saying were pink, white and navy. And white and navy sort of go with mostly everything else in my wardrobe. So they kind of, even though they're like the main colours, they act kind of as neutrals as well. That makes it, you know, really easy. I don't have that many like jackets or outerwear in my summer capsule, but when I do, I usually keep those a little bit more neutral because it just makes them, they can go with more things. And that's particularly important if you do have like the brighter base outfits, like a really bright dress, because it means that you do have something that you can use to spice up the look in a different way, style the dress in a different way, and you're not clashing like a really bright cardigan with crazy bright prints. All the basics can be paired with the brightly coloured ones and everything ties together nicely. I probably am like repeating myself a lot here, but so sorry about that. Number 5 is to make sure that your accessories work with the colours of your capsule wardrobe. This is a big one because I feel like the accessories can really change, really change an outfit. So if you're wearing like a summery dress and you change it from sandals to a pair of heels, it can totally change the look and make it a much more dressy, suitable option for going out to somewhere a bit more fancy. My wardrobe is definitely in need of this because most of my pieces are pretty casual, and so when it comes to dressing things up, it is more related to like the shoes that I wear and how I do my makeup, that kind of thing. I personally don't actually include the shoes, bags, jewellery or anything like that in the count of my capsule wardrobe, but I do try to keep it a little bit more minimal. Because my wardrobe is pretty colourful, when it comes to the accessories I do tend to keep things a little bit more neutral, and that way they're really versatile and they work with all the other outfits. So when it comes to bags, I actually just have 3. A black one, which to be honest just broke and I need to replace it, a tan one, and then like a neutral beigey colour. And for those 3 I'm pretty much covered, it goes with everything. And for shoes, which are my most worn ones, I usually have like a pair of tan sandals and then like a pair of tan wedges, which I wear if I want to dress it up a little bit more. Or if I want to wear black shoes, I've got like black ballet flats, black sandals, and then black pair of heels. and with those you can sort of mix and match and have a really casual outfit or a more dressy option depending on what you wear. Yeah, so that's just what works for me. Obviously some people really love statement shoes, and if that's you, then go for it, but these are just the tips of what has worked for my colourful capsule wardrobe. So, number 6 is to choose silhouettes that you really love and that make you feel great. This is again steering more into like the just general capsule wardrobe tips, but I think it's really important, particularly if you are wearing bright colours, because they do tend to draw a little bit more attention, and if you are wearing them, you want to be comfortable in them. A few months ago, maybe last year, there were some beautiful patterned colourful pencil skirts in Portman's, and I just love that look. I think it is absolutely gorgeous, but I know that for me, I never wear pencil skirts, and I just never feel comfortable in them because I don't like the way they look at me. I feel like they sort of draw attention to my really bowed legs, and they're just not super flattering. Probably no one else would actually notice those things, but because I notice them, it makes me feel less confident in them. It makes me feel uncomfortable just in general, like actually how you actually physically feel, like you know, if you've got like a tight skirt on or something like that. And so I've finally just realised there's no point buying them because I'm just not going to wear them. I feel so much more comfortable if I wear like a sort of 50s style dress that's a bit more fitted on top, flares out at the bottom, and that's just very me. It's a silhouette that I love, and you just have to sort of realise and accept what looks good on you, what you like wearing, and stick with those. Not to say that you can't branch out if you want to, but you have to make sure that it's actually something that you really do feel great in. Yeah, so my point basically is that if you're wearing bright colours, you want to actually make sure you're drawing attention to the features that you love about yourself, not so much the ones that you don't love so much. Number 7, and this is the last one, is to think of your capsule like a Wheel of Fortune colour wheel. This tip I sort of heard from Hello Kathy, who is an awesome YouTuber. I will link her channel down below and the video that she talks about this in. But it's basically, if you think of like a Wheel of Fortune wheel, and it's got like separated into segments with like black, white, black, white, black, white, all the way around it with like one red panel. As the wheel spins around, you're obviously going to notice that red panel sticking out a lot more. And, you know, because it stands out. So the same sort of thing goes with your capsule wardrobe. If it's mostly made up of just like the neutral pieces, and then you have like one statement piece, like one statement dress, one bright top thrown in, you're sort of going to notice it a lot more as you cycle through the wardrobe, and it kind of makes it a bit more obvious that you're wearing the same pieces again and again. Nothing wrong with the fact that you're wearing them over and over, but it's sort of, I don't know, it really makes it stand out, if you know what I mean, like the cycle. On the other hand, if your capsule is made up of, you know, numerous coloured pieces, like for me I have like 10 colourful dresses. They're not all the same colour obviously, but they're like patterned, floral, other fruit patterned dresses. As it gets rotated through, it sort of just becomes more of like a blur of brightly patterned, pretty dresses. And so like everything kind of meshes together a little bit, and so it's not like you're going, oh, she's wearing that same piece over and over and over and over again. In Kathy's words, she sort of said, like, if your colour palette is like a pink, orange, yellow colour, as the wheel sort of goes round and you wear your wardrobe, it just becomes this beautiful sort of sunset blur. And doesn't that sound really nice? Like, that kind of thing. Hopefully that explained it alright, but I will link her video where she talks about that and she explains it really well. So yeah, those are my tips. Hopefully they can be a little bit helpful. Hopefully I wasn't too rambly. I've also written a blog post which will be linked down below that basically goes through all these things in detail and probably explains it a little bit better in a less rambly version. I'll link a few other posts down below that I found recently that actually go into the colour side of things a bit more. I didn't think about things that in depth when I was sort of putting my capsule together to start off. I just sort of played around and found out what worked for me. But sometimes it is handy to have a few little tips to try out when you're just getting started. So if it is helpful, please let me know. I'd love to hear your thoughts about capsule wardrobes and colour and how it works for you. And if you have any videos, link them down below. I'll have a look at them. And yeah, I'll see you later. Hope you have a great day.